Demon Red Mist here, also known as DP Design. Doing a few videos, simple videos, about how to use the Cyberlink Powerdirector 13 video editor program. Doing this for Dynamic GT League, just so that they've got a base reference. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be a very sort of simple guide. I'm not massively computer savvy. To be honest, I hate computers, but I do actually enjoy doing a bit of video editing, and it took me a long time to actually learn how to really use Cyberlink Powerdirector. So I'm going to do a number of videos, as I mentioned. Probably going to be about 7 videos, but they're going to be short, hopefully. So I'm going to separate them into quite simply just importing files as one video. The next one will be image creation. Next video will be video creation. Then there'll be attaching multiple processed videos and transitions from one sort of video clip to another. Video 5, how to add your voiceovers and the sort of mini processors in that. 6 will be inserting music, also how to search and download music from YouTube is what I'm going to use mainly. And then video 7 will be about video producing, and that is a very key part. I will mention though that obviously I think video 3 I said is going to be video creation. The reason why video producing isn't at that point is because if people just want to do one basically video file and add the voiceovers and music onto it and then process it, the videos will be in order. However, if you do want to add multiple separate completed video clips together, obviously I will show how to do that on video 4, but I will also explain then that you would have to process the videos and to have a look at video 7. A bit confusing, but there you go. Now, as I said, I'm not computer savvy, so I don't know everything there is to know about Cyberlink Powerdirector. I don't know everything there is to know about computers. However, this is literally a simple sort of like, if you've never used a video editor or even Cyberlink before, hopefully you'll be able to follow these videos and go, okay, I can do that in its most simple form. It'll then be up to you to see how far you can progress it regarding your video editing. So if you're expecting how to do anything really fancy on Cyberlink here, you're not going to get it. What I will say is that as well is Cyberlink Powerdirector is very good for editing videos. It's pretty good for doing pictures. However, you cannot get transparent backgrounds on the base on the background of pictures on Cyberlink Powerdirector, or at least I haven't worked out how to do so. I actually use paint.net for most of my picture editing. However, I always use Cyberlink Powerdirector for any text because it is better for text than paint.net. That's what I find anyway, especially if I want writing that's got a border around it, like for example where I've got Demon Red Mist on the right side of the screen here. If I wanted a red border around that, I can't do that on paint.net, or at least I've not worked out how to, so I prefer to use Cyberlink Powerdirector. Also, Cyberlink Powerdirector is much better for like if you're doing video thumbnails and they go in a sequence like video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, it's much easier to save that image and then edit the text on that, keeping the font the same, everything. It's so much easier, I find. Anyway, okay, so this first video is going to be about importing files onto Cyberlink Powerdirector. Might sound like a very simple thing, and to be honest, it is really, but for some people they might not know how to do it or have learned how to do it and forget, so I'm going to show how to do it anyway. Now, I am using Cyberlink Powerdirector 13. That's because I've had this for a number of years. Obviously I'm aware there are newer versions available. I just can't afford to go and buy them, but pretty much the processes are exactly the same. On some things the little icons might be different, but the wording of what the icon does should be the same, from what I know from someone that I got to download Powerdirector 16 recently. Anyway, Download and install Cyberlink Powerdirector. You can pay for it. I do know that people have found ways to not pay for it. That's not what I did. I didn't want to take the risk myself. But anyway, download it, install it, and then open it up. Now, personally, I only ever use Full Feature Editor. Because it gives me the most control, and I also always work in 16:9. So open up the Powerdirector and you'll end up with a screen that should look pretty much similar to this. Now for your basic editing, these are your main tools. This at the bottom is your timeline. And up on the right hand side here, it will show what images you are using basically. Now when you are editing the video, and especially if you're doing voiceovers on videos, do not be afraid if the video here does not look good or sometimes isn't in sequence. It can be very annoying, very frustrating, but it's basically because it's running at a reduced quality just to save memory on your computer, I believe. So if you are concerned about it, record a bit, do a little bit of voiceover, see how it goes and crack on. But I did find it a little difficult doing voiceovers. Anyway, importing files, folders, and also how to get video music from YouTube. Importing is ever so easy. Now what I will say is, when it comes to doing any kind of editing on Cyberlink, and probably other items as well, prepare everything you need before you open Cyberlink. That might sound a little contradictory because I've opened Cyberlink, but prepare all the things that you need. So for example, I'll show you the Dynamic GT League folders that I've made for them. There's a folder with completed logos, there's a folder for basic pictures that are completed, there's a folder for video borders, and we may see that a little later on. There's a folder for backgrounds, there's a folder for shapes, there's a folder for YouTube videos, and then there's just like general pictures here. So if there was anything that I'm going to use DGT's files for these videos, but if there was anything that I wanted to add onto a picture or import music or stuff like that, have it in a folder ready to go, and you don't want to move it afterwards, because what will happen is when you edit if I import a DG or a DGT picture, for example, if I import this picture but then I move the picture in the computer files, the picture goes from this project. So you don't want to be moving anything you're using in your computer files, because you basically lose it from the project. You can retrieve it, but it's a pain in the backside, especially if you've used a lot of stuff. Okay. So how to import it is ever so easy. Top left corner, you got media room, FX room, you have pip objects room, particles, titles, transition room, audio mixing room, and your video voiceover recording. So for importing files, images, music, videos, anything, you want the media room. And then click on the folder and it gives you a number of different options: import media files, import media folder, or download media from Cyberlink Cloud, or direct from the director zone. You can have a look at these two, but to be honest, for a very simple system you don't need them. But if you do want to expand your folders of files like title screens and stuff like that, transition screens, you can have a look into them. But I'm just going to look at the import media files. It's dead simple. So you click on import media files. I'm already onto the DGT, so basically you just go and find your file. So DGT, I'm going to go into their logos. Now there's a lot of logos I've got in here. Now you can simply just click on one and press open, and it'll put it onto your storyboard. If you want to import multiple items, it's ever so simple as well. Just click on one that you want, then go to the next one. Well, click on one you want, then press and hold Control, click on the next one you want, keep hold of Control, and you can click on any of the files that you want to import. And this is the same for static images, music, videos, any kind of files you want to import. You can just press and hold Control and click on them. Just be careful if you're moving your mouse around though, because you can accidentally copy everything. So yeah, if you've got multiple files where you want to only copy some, this is the way to do it. And then click on open and it will move them all into your storyboard. If you have a folder, as I said, you've come prepared, so you've got a folder with all of the imagery that you want to use on your project in one folder, which is a very good idea to have or do. Click on the media rooms folder and then click on import a media folder. Now let's see, where shall I go for this one? Right, okay, so I've got all of the DGT completed logos. There's 3 pictures in there, the video borders, and then there's backgrounds. Well, you know what, I can't remember what I've got in there, but I can now just click on that folder once, select folder, and it imports everything from within the folder onto your storyboard. Really simple. However, don't do this on a folder where you've got loads of items in it that you don't need all of them. For example, if I click on import media folder again, if I select this one, it is going to add a total of about 35 images, of which I'm only really needing 6. So if I import all of those now, I've now got a hell of a lot of images here that I do not need and just waste my time scrolling through. Now, if you do import images or stuff that you don't necessarily want to use, you do have a couple of options. Let's pop this picture onto the timeline. So if I'm going to use this as, let's say, an example, a base image, and I go, you know what, I want to add another logo on top of it. I'll get more into image creation on the next video, so this is just a quick example. If I go, oh no, I wanted the logo with a transparent background, you have 2 options. You can click on the file and remove it, or you can actually, like, if it is a file that you know what, I'm not going to use that on my project because it's not the right image, click on it here, then right click, and you can remove it from the library, which means it will remove it from this screen, or you can delete it from the disk. Deleting from disk puts it in your rubbish bin on your computer. I personally tend to just do remove from library unless I know 100% I am never going to use the item. So that's how you import files and folders from your computer onto Cyberlink Powerdirector. Now, it's always advisable to save your projects on Cyberlink Powerdirector as well. Save them regularly, because then if it crashes, which I must admit I can't upload to YouTube and use Cyberlink Powerdirector. YouTube will crash Cyberlink. So if you're working on a big project and you haven't saved it and you start uploading something else to YouTube, you're going to lose everything you've done. So save it quite often. Also, be clever in how you name the files, because, for example, if I show you these are all the projects I've currently got going, and there's a lot, and I've cut this down. So if you're not clever in how you name stuff, it is very easy to lose the projects you're actually working on. I tend to do, if it's really important stuff that I'm working on or current stuff, I tend to title it 1A and then the name, and then it's at the top of my list. Or if it's stuff that I'm working on but it's not that important but I want to know exactly where it is, I'll give it a Z, it's at the bottom of my list. I've gone with that kind of system. Anyway, onto YouTube and downloading music. Now, I know that there is a video editor on YouTube. Personally, it's nice that they've got it on there, but personally it's of no use for me, because I like to put my own imagery over videos and my own writing over videos, and the YouTube video editor doesn't allow you to do that. It's also very tricky to cut video clips, I've found. Okay, but in regards of importing music or finding music, if you open up your YouTube channel, I'm going to show you mine here. You can see all the things I've been watching recently. I'm into the JFK assassination stories. Click on your logo in the top right corner, click on Create a Studio, and then on the left hand side you have Create. Click on Create, and then you've got Audio Library and Music Policies. Leave it on audio Library. Now, when it comes to using music on your videos, you have 3 options really. Maybe a few more. You can use music that is copyrighted and you get stung for it. You can use music that is copyrighted but you're allowed to use it as long as you add an affiliation to the music. or you can use music that you're free to use without adding any affiliation or attribution. Personally, I go down that final route, music where you can use it at will, because then if you ever forget to add the copyright attribution, you don't get into trouble. Now the way to do that is on the free music audio library over here on the right side, click on attribution and then attribution not required. This then is only going to show you music where you can just use it at will. It's a very simple system to use. You can click on genre and go for all your different kind of genres. So you could go, for example, hip hop and rap. Not that that's my kind of music. The type of mood if you want. Let's go with bright. You can even go for a specific type of instrument if you wish, and the duration. Personally, I don't tend to look at the duration unless I know I need it to be, say, example, 4 minutes long. I have spent a lot of time on the YouTube audio library, and resulted on many occasions having to put together 2 or 3 songs or music tracks that are 2 minutes long to get to a total of 6. However, in all of my video editing, I probably have spent more time searching for music than I ever have editing videos. It is a pain in the backside. So what I would say is, when you do go looking for music, if you hear something and you go, well, I like the sound of that, but it's not for this video, download it anyway, because then you don't have to search for it in the future. Okay, yeah, so you got duration, and then it's simple, just click on play and have a listen. And if it's the type of song that you want, yeah, it sounds like my kind of music. If it is the kind of music that you're interested in, just click on the download button here. It'll download it to your PC. Then you'll need to move it from your downloads folder to a folder that you can create on your desktop, which you call YouTube Music. It's as simple as that. So for me, for example, I actually haven't done it yet, but in the DGT folder, I could add in here a new folder and just simply call it YouTube Music. Now you might wonder why I've called it YouTube Music, because I use a simple process similar to Cyberlink, where I go right, important, and then slightly less important. Okay, so I've got I've got a YouTube Music folder there. Quickly go into downloads, you see all the dodgy shit I've downloaded recently, like Human Fart. It'd be a good idea if I actually downloaded the song. But yeah, I've downloaded a lot of soundtracks and sound effects. Now the sound effects aren't great, but for some stuff it can be useful. I mean, for example, the Human Fart one, it was for a sound effect on a video. So yeah, once you've downloaded it, you can then move it into your YouTube Music folder. And then that way, when it comes to future projects, you know all your music is in there. Okay, so that process is fairly simple, but don't be surprised if you do end up taking a long time finding the kind of music that you want. Once you have downloaded it, now I'm going to import from a slightly different folder. Once you have downloaded it, you've got it in your correct folder, you can click on import media files again. Now I know that I've got so I've got another folder here, the DGT intro. I've got a lot of music in here already. Now there's a couple of things you can do. You can just click once on one of the songs and press play to see if that's the song that you want. Or you can, similar to the first import of images I showed, you can click on one, press and hold Control, and just click on a few of them and open them. Once you've clicked open, it will then transport them onto your Cyberlink, and you can click on it and press play and see if it's the music that you want, and you can go all the way through them if you wish. Now one of the reasons why I say put your music into one folder is because if you're not sure exactly which song you might want to use, it's very handy to go, well, you know what, I'll import all of my music folder, and then on the storyboard here you can simply just click on one, press play. Right, that's not the one I want, remove it from the library. Let's click on the next one. Yep, definitely don't want that one removed from library. And you can whittle down your music options then. That's what I tend to do. I tend to go through and go, okay, that's a no, that's a no, that's a no, that's a maybe, I'll keep that, that's a no, that, and I'll whittle it down to 1 or 2 tracks and then see which one really goes with what I'm working with. So anyway, that's how to import music from YouTube. Now you can, if you wanted, just create an audio file on Cyberlink Powerdirector, but I'm not going to get into that at the moment. So you can just create music files if you wish, but as I said, I'm not going to get into that. What I am going to do now is finish this video and get ready for the next video, which is going to be image creation. So I'll be able to show how I, for example, have made the image that is showing on the screen at the moment. I'm not going to show that one. I'm basically going to start a new image and show how to do that in a very simple form.